Hi, this is Xavier, and today, in the middle of the pandemic, I'd like to tell you why and how millions of Americans are switching jobs for a better pay, for a better experience, and for a better lifestyle. And believe me, it's not a surprise. Millions of Americans are reconsidering the way they work. Right now, Americans are experiencing a tidal wave of change when it comes to what it means to have a job, especially when your job treats you like you're disposable. If that has happened to you, you need to pay attention to the following and the rest of the video. According to an August 2021 poll, more than half of US workers said they plan to switch to a new job in the coming year because they hate what they're doing. 56% of respondents said what they're looking for are adjustable working hours and remote work. But a lot of people have left the workforce entirely because of job security and better pay. For most people in the US, it's time to find something that is going to be better for them, for their family, something more stable, something that can provide more money, something where they don't have to leave their home, something where they don't spend half their life on traffic, and something where they are sure they're not going to get fired anytime soon. Does it look like you? If yes, then keep on watching. I have something for you at the end of the video. And if it's like you, it's not your fault. You're not alone. In August 2021, almost 4.3 million Americans quit their jobs. The resignation rate hit a 24-year high of 2.9% last month. We have never seen that before. Working women have faced an even heavier burden, juggling childcare duties, teaching or monitoring virtual schooling on Zoom, and managing their careers. Dubbed the Great Resignation, the exodus of workers has left millions of 996 jobs unfilled and created hiring challenges for exploiting companies. So what does the realignment of the workforce means for you? And what steps do you need to take before you quit your job? As of January 2021, there were 18.5 million US mothers living with their school-age children while actively working. There was almost 2 million less in January 2020. Does that ring a bell for you? In September 2020, Naomi Luna started a new job in a new area, the finance industry. She's working remote from home on her own schedule. In only 1 year, she went from making just enough to almost $30,000 per month.
It's been a year, but now since, get emotional, sorry. I'm just so grateful because we're able to be number one thanks to our amazing team.
Now, take a look at Evelyn Alonso. She's an immigrant from the Philippines. She worked a lot of years as a nurse in the United States. Then she started to work with us. Now she has $25 million under management. That means that she manages $25 million for other people.
No other company does this. You're dead, your profession just died, right? You're a lawyer, your profession just died. Here, this is an incredible opportunity. A lasting memory, Noemi.
And according to a May 2021 survey, Naomi and Evelyn are not alone. Almost half of workers in the finance industry said they were thrilled to have selected that industry. More than half said the state licenses were not that easy to get, but that it was doable for any people with willingness. And what Evelyn and Naomi did, you can do it too. Do you have your attention now? As of January 2021, almost a third of workers at large US companies said they are likely to change jobs in the coming year. Younger workers are even more likely to uproot their careers. Half of Gen Z workers plan to switch jobs in the coming year. Now, let me tell you, there are three main solutions to remedy a terrible work situation. First of all, keep an open mind. Job that seemed impossible to reach in the past may now be easier than you think. The evolution of online education can cut the time you need to get an official state license from several months to several weeks, and in certain cases, several days only. Also, thanks to internet education, certain training that used to cost several $1,000s are now paid for by your new employer. Second solution, think like a business-minded person. Guys, listen to me. The US is truly exceptional. Now, why some people don't take advantage of this just blows my mind. The US is exceptional in the way that it's the best country in the world where you can start your personal franchise for pennies. If you live in the US and work for someone else, it doesn't make sense at all. Here in the US, if you're looking for a job, you are misreading the American economy because the US is made for entrepreneurs, not job seekers, not for employees. Guys, if you want to work for a boss, go to Mexico or China or Europe, but not in the US. Because you know what? The US has been created from scratch for entrepreneurs, not job seekers, not employees. And once you became a business owner, you have a lot of incentives like tax credits, easy loans, deductions, loopholes, shorter workload, much better earnings, longer time for yourself, for your kids, and your family. And the list goes on and on. How do you think rich people got rich? Working for others? I mean, get real. And finally, do something that is rewarding for you. Of course, the money is very important. But when you help millions of people achieve their dreams, not only you make money, but also you have a deep satisfaction inside of you. It's that flow of dopamine that's the best drug for success. Quitting an awful job has already worked for millions of Americans. So it should work for you. But before quitting your job, it is important to take a look at your financial situation and to find out how much it costs to fund your lifestyle. I call that the FNA, the Financial Needs Analysis. The FNA is a dollar amount that tells you what your optimum earnings should be. And then, once you know that amount, you can start to look at what are the roles, what are the positions, and what are the industries that pay that dollar amount. And let me tell you that the finance industry is your best bet. Even during COVID, the stock exchange soared by 80%. It's the biggest gain in 30 years. Guys, in September 2021, there were some concerns about the economy, but now the stock exchange has gained traction again. And in the past few weeks, the stock exchange has soared again to new heights never again reached. So, what is it to work for the finance industry? You're not bound by time, space, and location. You work remote, from home. You can even become a digital nomad if you want, working from Hawaii, Bali, or the Caribbean. You work at your own pace. You set up your schedule. You don't lay flat like Gen Z or work 996 like millenniums. Isn't that enticing? So, I'm gonna offer you something very special. Just because you watched this video until the end, I'm going to offer you to study your FNA. To do that, it takes anywhere from 30 minutes to 1 hour. But at the end, you know exactly what you need to make to live a very comfortable life. I usually charge $230 to study a FNA. But since you watched the video until the end, it's gonna be free of charge for you. Also, if you're interested, of course, we can discuss the possibility to reroute you toward a new career, the finance industry. Now, if you want the FNA or the exciting new career, let me know below. Or just fill out the form and we'll set up a moment, just you and I. If you're married or if you have a partner, it might be a good idea to invite them at the session. I'm sure they would love to know what exciting new path you're about to take. So let me know below what you think and let's discuss.